There we are. Okay, okay. One more thing I gotta do. By the way, tonight's lyrical entertainment will be provided by my son screeching and squealing in the background here. He's playing Overwatch. So you hear a lot of it's him. Cool. Alright. Looking good. Everything seems to be going fine. Going fine. Alright, just let me throw my phone on the charger if you guys don't mind. Alright, now this one. Oh, you know what? I don't know if any of the shit I typed even comes through here. Oh, wow. That's a waste of fucking time. Let's do this again. Can I?
Who will stand longer?
Ah, shit.
The young sparrow.
Okay.
Or the cyborg?
I don't know that any of that worked, so we're gonna start it over. Whoop, no. Get out of my way. Get out of my way, pop up.
I need healing.
As I'm paranoid and I don't know if anything works, so.
I need healing.
As Kurt Cobain said,
Guys, I need healing.
just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they're not after you. Pain, I don't live. I am pain. I don't live. Wow, see, I never paid attention to this, so this is probably like, I've done this several times where I've had my live scene starting soon or whatever, or starting soon thing up, and you know, this is gonna be easier to try to copy that bullshit.
Guys, I haven't got that healing yet.
Some of them I'll have to copy, but. Into Mexico. Don't know the lyrics, so I just sing it out when we're up on the radio.
Give us a win. That does. Michael's cheating. Michael's cheating.
Don't worry, we only have 40 more minutes of my son screaming to worry about. And one more. I'm not even gonna fucking type the other part, just look. And what's this? Ready? Official site is there. Done. I washed my hands of it. Alright, now I gotta go find that was the other thing I wanted to do, and I got screwed up and crossed over here. Alright. Much I want blank stare. Look at that. La 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 la. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Okay, so our reference photo tonight.
Ban him.
Okay. So for all you guys playing along, which I don't know, it's probably like nobody, but in order to monitor the dashboard, I'm going to try to do it this way. It's not ideal. Better do. Why don't you kick yourself out? You're an immigrant too. Who's using who? What do we do? Well, we can't be a pimp and a prostitute too. It's gonna be an odd music night. Kinda gonna be everything again. I honestly thought it was gonna be like an all classical music night for me tonight, but recently just sort of decided otherwise. Okay. So gotta throw my pencil. Luckily it's still pretty good. I don't have to worry about pointing really. It's hard. So hard. Anyway. So as I said now, my friend Jeff has commissioned me now to do this. Let's see if I can get that better. Um,
Yeah, we're winning by 6, Michael. Yeah, Kristen, you don't know.
whatever. Okay. I guess not. Um, huh. The commissioned me to do this painting of his house and barn. Now, in the discussions of it, and if you look at this picture that I have up on Imgur, um, to get both in the painting and both be quite visible, there's probably going to be some distortion done with our distances between the two.
No, a dryer.
Um,
No.
which, is what it is. It's not my preferred method of doing stuff, but,
I'm a dryer.
I got bills to pay, so I'm heading up on Saturday to get some different shots just to see what I can do to minimize that distortion necessary. Good God, this is going to be when this gets hard to do it this way. Because this is a drawing I can't really... I apologize, this is going to shake. Because I can't really work around this too much. Waiting for the break of day.
I'm a dryer.
Searching for something to say. White nights against the sky.
Kill everybody.
Waking up, I
Michael,
close
kill
my eyes.
You should start with you.
Shouldn't sway on the floor.
You can go over to that cliff and jump.
It's fine. This song came on during the at the Phillies one time,
Go, Tristan.
before the game. Like they just play random music and stuff. And truth be told, I haven't checked for proportions or anything. It's probably not matching this paper. So we may have some distortions anyway in this drawing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No.
Yeah.
Michael, oh my God. Michael, you
This is why drawing in plain air is always so much better. I don't like doing it off of
Michael,
when I do a canvas, I make sure it fits. You know what I mean? Like beforehand, I'll hit it with Photoshop. If I got to trim a little, I trim a little off the bottom here because there's a lot of dead space in the road. Little things like that. All right. You guys probably can't see what I'm doing on here, but I'm looking for like kind of a judgment on like where the halfway point would be.
No.
Just to kind of get an idea of what exactly we're looking for. And I know, I'll go double check just to be sure. It's probably gonna look a little, it's almost next to impossible for you to see right now, I guess. I'm just hitting in with the main lines of the road right now. And I'm trying to get, this is all ground feeling, you know what I mean? Like, I am a little deer, freshly born, just trying to, find my footing. I can't tell if it's even out in focus or not, to be honest with you. Let me try, see if I can see one of those H's. I cannot. So maybe if I can adjust it, I can maybe see one. That's a little better. Alright. It's going to move in and out. I know this fucking camera. One day I'll have a camera that's like worth a fucking damn. Alright, now the hill does appear to be almost at the halfway point here, right as the bushes are coming in. Right, we got a little bush. We've got bush. We've got bush. Like, I know that movie was from another time. If you know the movie I'm quoting. Some of you may be too young. I was too young to see it when it first came out. My parents would have been horrified to think of it. I'd seen it then. But quite honestly, after watching it now as an adult, I was horrified by it. I mean, that movie is not cool. I don't remember enough about the second one. I remember seeing the second one. when I was younger, but I don't remember much about it. So I don't know if there's quite as much assault and you know the nerds were not good people in that movie. Let's put it that way. It's hard for me to root for them after I was watching that movie. Like I said, I know it's a byproduct of a time long since past, but Jesus, that was uncomfortable, especially the scene in the carnival, if you know what I'm talking about. She thinks she's meeting someone, and then she meets someone else, and then it's like, that was a rape. It's not cool. Give a shit what time of period it was. It would have been, could have been worse than you would ever know. Well, the dashboard melted, but we still had the radio. Now, this is where, as I've been having these little chats regarding Mr. Rossman, my old drawing teacher, this is where the stuff that he was teaching us does kind of come in handy here. Yeah, about checking those evaluations and this, how this part leans to that part, leans to that part, leans to that part. God, I feel dirty admitting that, but what a been, could have been, what's that you would ever know. Whoa, whoa. But you have to think about what we have to fit in on that, like, yeah, if you're looking at this photo that I have on Imgur. Imgur? How do you say this? It's Imgur, right? Imgur. Whatever.
5 hours.
You have to kind of figure out how much we have to fit onto that little hill area there. And kind of take it piece by piece, like the red door versus where it starts to move forward with the, smaller first level thing going out there. Alcove? I don't know what the hell it is. What you would call that. It's not really an alcove, right? I don't. Oh, now here we go. But I want everybody, if you look at this photo, I can't. I don't think this will work.
No.
I'm gonna try something. I don't know if this will work or not. I don't think it will.
Even out yet.
I will try it like this. I don't think it's gonna work. Just wanted to catch the last laugh of this show. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. Yeah, it didn't. Okay. Damn it. I was hoping I could get the link over. Shite. What I want everybody to see is, if you can see it, is right at where the silo is gonna meet the oh, see, I already fucked it up too. I already just looked at it too, and now I'm looking at it and I fucked it up. But I think I got the silo too far out from the bush. But the where the silo and like the pitched roof kind of line up to make a nice little triangle there, and that's the stuff that where Rossman's lessons really come into play. It's a very nice little spot there, and it's. See, I'm screwing with my proportions a little bit because I think I was too big on that little bush for the drawing. I do that a lot. Like especially when it comes to things like bushes and trees and stuff. It's like I tend to go bigger on them because it's what interests me more.
You'll spend $5 million on our season pass, but guess what? We just clickbaited you. Ha ha ha. bunch of poo-poo smothered on a paint canvas.
Did that come across? I hope that came across. Of the morning.
Tristan, what the heck are you watching?
When the whole wide world is fast asleep, you'll lie awake and think about the girl and never ever think of counting sheep. When your lonely heart has learned its lesson, you'd be hers if only she would call in the wee small hours of the morning. That's the time you miss her most.
No.
Of all.
That's not the name of this game, Tristan. It's not Overwatch. It's sit in a custom game lobby for like 5 hours, and then.
Oh, that's my thing. Your lonely heart has learned its lesson. You'd be hers if only she would call.
No, it's
In the wee small hours of the morning.
They're just gonna release a nuke bomb that you can only get by paying $5 million for the DLC, and it just kills everyone.
Miss her most of all. Now again, if you think about that silo there, too, if you guys are looking along, hopefully you are. Hopefully there's 1 or 2 people actually starting to come in here and take a peek.
You see
Even if you can hide your
this
status or
Nuketown
something.
map? You see?
I have no idea what they're talking about.
And then you're gonna have.
Is this Loch Ness Monster? Sorry. Just getting a little distracted there. Yeah, Loch Ness Monster. The Whistle Binkies. That's the album, right? I think it's the album.
You wanna reload your gun?
Yeah.
Wanna
They screwed it up. That's funny. The band's called Almanac, and the album's called The Whistle Binkies, but they said it's by the Whistle Binkies. That's funny.
You wanna win the game?
Alright, sorry.
Hope you have somebody on your team who can pay $7 million.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, so you guys are like kind of aware. Today was absolute garbage. Like absolute garbage today. It started off bad and it just got worse from there. And so definitely was feeling a little on the cuckoo side. You know. Some old shadows came back up. And so I've been kind of doing whatever I can to feel more cuckoo the other way, let's put it that way. Like, yeah, a little more on the happier cuckoo side. If there's such a thing.
Get this to Philadelphia fusion.
I need to learn to like. It's gonna sound weird. I need to learn to like really temper my hope. Because I was trying to like tell myself, you know, today, like, okay, it's gonna be you're fine. It's gonna be a good day. You're gonna be fine. You know, before I even went in, you know, like everything will be cool. Everything's gonna be cool. Just don't let them bother you. They can't do, you know, it's not gonna help. Blah blah blah. And then they do like the one thing that absolutely triggered me. I had a customer who a few days ago had requested a shipment that had already gone out to have a change of address, a reconsignment. Okay? These are pains in the asses. They're just there's just no good way to do it. Like every carrier is a little different. Like every freight carrier. And it's like, and your big two, if you want to call them that, I guess, right? It would be FedEx and UPS. UPS, fucking forget. Just it's goddamn terrible to ever deal with them. Like, honestly, I'd let a homeless man with a nervous condition shave my balls with a Bowie knife rather than have to ever call UPS again. If they made that deal with me, I would take it. I'd be like, let's go, dude. All right. And the sad thing is, I'm not joking. I'm not. I would. But the FedEx is a little better, and they've actually improved their method a little bit. But so they had it as FedEx shipment. I'm like, all right, I guess I can get it done. And I got it done, and it's sometimes hard to find out if they actually did it right, because sometimes they screw it up pretty badly too. And they don't ever reconsign it, but they charge you for it. So I went looking, today to make sure everything went out okay. And there it is. It's reconsigned perfectly. Okay, cool. Mr. Customer, reconsignment went through. Everything's fine. They're expected to deliver it on Friday to the new address you'd given me. All right,
I emoted.
Put my case in ready to close kind of situation. So I'll close it tomorrow. I just let it sit open for about a day,
For an activity, so I shot.
5 minutes later, I get a phone call from that same customer. Yeah, Brian, listen, I actually needed that to be changed to another address.
Just now.
Wait, you want to reconsign the reconsignment? Yeah. Yeah. I tried to call. I spoke to somebody, and I don't know what they did. They didn't give me another case, or they were supposed to tell you. And I'm like, okay, well, nobody told me anything. Right, so your reconsignment fees are doubled. You understand this, that we're not going to write one off just 'cause, Yeah, I know. I'm so, yeah. Now here's the thing. I know for a fact, knowing these customers, as I've gotten to know them so well over the past few years, that I most certainly am going to be getting an email from the regional sales manager telling me I need to credit back at least one of the reconsignment fees. I know it. I know it for a fact. It's not even like a question in my head right now. So it's like, and because I dealt with the reconsignment, it's my responsibility to give them that money back because reasons.
Jacob, get off the point. Get off the point.
So they will be coming pounding for that. And by the time it's all finished, I guarantee you, first things first, that thing's going to be damaged.
You won't jump.
I will bet money on it at this point because it's got to go off a truck, onto another truck, now off to another truck, off to another truck. So that shit's going to get damaged. So they're going to want credit for that too. As we get another one, they're going to want it expedited.
Do it. Jump.
Tune in Sunday to find out if I'm right.
Kick him.
Actually, maybe Monday night. I probably wouldn't find out till Monday night.
Yeah, jump, Jacob.
But let's put it this way.
No, you didn't jump.
The thing that I found out about this job too late was how literally nothing
No, you didn't.
is accomplished ever. Everything just repeats and repeats. That's why I know this will happen. Because it's happened to me more times than I can count. And it will happen again.
Or all the way to your spawn.
It is completely illogical. I always point to a friend of mine who does same. He's in a similar type business. He deals with a little higher voltage stuff than I do typically. But But when I told him about like how many of these I get a day, he goes, dude, if I didn't know where I was releasing my stuff to, like if I released something and I didn't have the address right when I released it, I'm fired. He goes, I'm fired, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. My ass is shit canned immediately. And I was like, dude, you know, no, not our customers, man. They get away with all of it. So, you know, and I started explaining to him what they do, and he's like, oh, dude, no. He's like, how do you guys get away with, like, how do you accept that? And I was like, we do, all the time. And so then they look for other cost-cutting measures, which end up being things like, you know, right now, about half of the people in my office, at least, in my division in my office. We have other divisions in our office, but anyway. The screens on our phones don't work anymore properly, which, you know, it's kind of important, because if you don't know what program you're, like, if the phone goes funky, they have to be reprogrammed, and if you can't see the programming that you're doing, that could be a problem. They won't order new phones, because cost saving.
Yeah, keep going up. Keep going up.
You see, one of the things that led to my breakdown when it came to this place was because I like to think of myself, even though I guess the standard stereotype of the artist is a flirty, kind of in the wind type person, you know. And I have those traits too, but I do tend to think of myself as a person of logic, you know.
Yeah, that's why you should just jump off.
And regularly, my logic centers get haywire when you think, well, this is something you shouldn't do. This would be better if you did it this way, because you have policies that say you're going to do things this way, so they should be done that way, you know, consistently, and we don't do it, which costs us money, and you know, and then, like I said, then you start cutting costs in places where you really can't afford to because it's going to go bad. Or when there's things that are relatively, and you know, I understand there's difficulties to some degree, but that are relatively easy to remedy regularly in the plants if honestly people were held accountable for their situations. You know, if the customer calls, asks for a date on a something shipping, yeah, something simple, right? And I say, oh, you know, I go to the plant. Hey, when's this thing shipping for the customer? And the plant tells me, oh, it's shipping tomorrow.
No.
Cool, thank you. I no longer go back to the customer with this. You know, I'll actually, if I do have to go back to the customer, unless they call and speak to someone else, I typically would tell them I'm still waiting on an answer.
He's still all the way in the spawn room.
Because until that thing is packed and loaded on a truck and out the fucking door, their word down there means abso-fucking-lutely nothing. But here's the thing. They can tell me it's going to ship tomorrow, and, you know, were I to pass this along to our customer, you might imagine that when it doesn't ship tomorrow, the customer would be rightfully upset. And I don't fault the customer for being upset. As much as I have complaints for plenty of other shit our customers do, they have every right to be upset on that. The problem is, I get the ass kicking. I'm the one who lied to them. Now, I did not willfully lie to them, as I said, you know. But all they're aware of is I'm the one who told them the date of, you know, tomorrow, and it didn't ship out.
Come get me, bro.
And now here they are in a bind because they told their customer, and trickle down bullshit. So this is where I have so many problems with it. And like I said, the plants have no
Jacob's a weeder.
ramifications on that. See, because the customer can give me an earful of shit. The customer can go, fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. You fucking told me that's gonna be fucking out, and I want you to pay for it fucking next day, fucking air, for your fucking expense, and fuck you, fuck yeah, fuck this. And what I have to do is go to the plant and say, hey guys, the customer's really upset. Could you possibly maybe please send this out tonight, next day air, at Siemens cost, because, you know, we told them a date, and they didn't miss that date, and they will say back to me, no problem, this will ship tonight, no extra air, Siemens cost. It will not ship that day, and most likely it will ship ground when they send it out because someone missed a message. And again, repeat the process. Customer, fuck you, fuck this, fuck that, you fucking piece of shit. I want to talk to them, fucking... And I have to get them to my supervisor, who will then tell me that I'm in trouble. Because I told the customer it's going next air. At our expense. That day. And it didn't go out. And it's my fault. Figure that one out.
Jacob's a cheater.
So, like I said, I've been trying to leave this place now for about 4 years. Somewhere around there now. I've been looking, and I still can't find anything.
Why hasn't you banned him yet? Why isn't he banned?
That's a bit frustrating.
We're on a Christian Minecraft server. He's cursing.
Because now I'm getting to a point where I'm 40 years old. You know, I don't have much more time that I can safely get out and reestablish myself somewhere else. With the exception of, like, okay, maybe my paintings start selling.
Cheater.
Something like that.
He's
You know,
cheating.
crazy like that. Which I don't believe will happen. So,
No, he didn't.
I find myself in a spot now where I'm starting to look at, there's a real serious potential that I may find myself retiring from this hellhole. And if I have to retire, if I have to work there till I'm 65, 70 years old and retire from there, I'm eating a bullet.
Tristan. I vote.
You know, it's like... That would be such a shameful life to me at this point. Because, for the most part, and I'm not really mincing words on this, I was tricked into getting this job. I was told it was one thing, and it is not what I was told. I was told I would actually have the ability and power to actually help people when they have issues with shipments, that, you know, certain things were rare occurrences or whatever, blah, 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 blah. I'd help people pick out products and things like that. I do almost none of that. I get yelled at. I get my ass kicked for other people who regularly will toss me under a bus because they have no repercussions for doing it. I can't yell at them. I can't, you know, because I need them to help me on my next one, you know. And if I get too smart with my language, I get brought in the office and talked about.
Oh, look, there's a monkey. There's a monkey, guys.
It's a...
Being a monkey. He's all the way at the capture point. He's in the capture point already.
I had some email go out the other day about, oh, we have some openings. If you guys know anybody, and I'm like, I wouldn't worst my worst fucking enemy to work here.
The capture point. That's not the. You just killed a monkey for no reason. You only get one shot. No, he didn't move at all. It was all for nothing.
You guys like my son's commentary? Do you hear it? Just dropped his controller.
Jacob, switch this over. Are you kidding? Teleport. Damn it, my teleporter doesn't work. Eat.
There's a told you guys. If you hear anybody with really bad language, it's me. But if you hear someone with kind of bad language, it's my son. There's sunflowers growing in front of this thing. It's funny, he told me I should edit them out. I'm like, sunflowers? I'm not editing sunflowers. Are you crazy? You must not know enough about who my master was. I mean, hell, to me, that's like a you know, like a little bonus point there. It's like a little bonus.
Why are you using somebody who's a person? You gotta use the monkey.
I honestly have no idea what's going on in that game right now. Him. He's doing something. I have no idea.
Why? Then why isn't she just a another female Torbjorn?
I think there's rocks there. It's hard to see, and I'm working off the same
She's obviously adopted,
probably terrible
that
image that you guys are, if anybody's working off of this.
And there's no doubt about it.
It would be nice to know if somebody's picking up. I mean, and again, I kind of been skipping over some of the stuff about perspective and stuff. I was going to mention about the silo earlier regarding how we were talking about cones and cylinders the other day, and you know, basically have a cylinder, quite large. Actually, it's like two because there's like the little like side bump here. It's kind of in behind it a little bit, but because the tops of them are above us, you know, it's gonna. If we were to draw through it, you know, we'd see like a little area over here, you know, but I don't leave that there because I'll accidentally will leave it and then I'll forget about it. Now, truth be told, when I do the painting, very good chance I'm going to leave out the telephone poles, just because they are like regular barriers. I kind of felt more confident about doing that after going to the Art Museum's Modernist exhibit. One of the paintings was, I think it was a Boston highway, but they like literally like edited out like any of like the more modern elements with the exception of the road, you know, like. And so I'm probably gonna do that too. I used to.
Spawn yet?
Cause actually this is out near the old stomping grounds I used to be at pretty regularly. This is out in West Grove.
I've spawned.
But I used to, on the photography end of it, when I was taking my photos, try to keep elements of more modern life, that is, cars and telephone poles and stuff, generally away from the photo, like.
No.
Starry nights, sunny days, I always thought that love should be that way. Then comes a day when you're riddled with doubt. You bet all you've lived and now you've loved out. Ooh, ooh, baby, we've been a long, long way. And who's to say what it will be tomorrow? My heart says no, but my mind says it's so. And we are in love, this is the love to say. We got a wham, bam, shang-a-lang and a sha-la-la-la-la-la thing. Wham, bam, shang-a-lang and a sha-la-la. Sorry, I'm sure that was annoying. My nose itched, I couldn't help it. I knew I wanted to say I think a little emotion goes a long, long way. Oh, now, caught in the beam. Look out, baby, this is not what it seems. Ooh, ooh, baby, you've been so good to me.
Why was I just set immediately as
I wonder how long I'll get to keep this playlist. See, I had a followed playlist of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and somebody just put together all the songs that were on the album, and just, you know, from their original albums, and made it a playlist. But Amazon Music took it down.
I'm a repeat boy.
And even though they took it down from searchable content for a while, it was still under my saved playlist.
Ew, that's
But then today, it was removed entirely. So I made my own playlist.
squid people are
The
weird.
same, yeah. Now it's private, so I don't know whether they'll spot it, give it shit, or anything, you know. But since the album's not available on Amazon Music right now, I think I'll see what I've been saying, 'cause I hear you singing the role I'm playing. When it's hard and we both want to stand. Say I could pass before this gets out of hand. Bye, baby, I love to stay. It's time. This is a really dark area here, so we can kind of get away with a little bit of extra dark cross hatching
Well, I
there.
didn't move at all.
This is coming across. See, again, I keep
Michael, can you
forgetting. I'm not looking directly at this, so I don't know if I'm. Yeah, it's starting to see.
He's
You guys see it, right?
He moved, kill him. Oh, he's
Bam.
cheating.
Shang-a-lang and a sha-la-la-la-la-la.
He's not wall hack.
Alright, it's at 9 o'clock, so. No L7 then. I think I want to take L7 off. They tried it. It's not that I don't like it, it's just they put it too much, like back to back right there. Like, okay, there we go. Violin Sonata in C major. That'll work.
None of us agreed that hacking was legal. Guys, group up with me.
And as I said, if anybody's watching, wants to draw along, I mean, even if it's not this exact thing, like I said,
Jacob, group up with me.
that's my goal in this channel. I repeat it all the time, but I would love to get this to be like a
I need healing.
people create along, and then
Jacob, group up with
maybe we
me.
can start doing like
Group up
critique
with me.
episodes. That'd be nice.
Group up with me, Jacob. Jacob, group up with me. Group up with me, Jacob.
At some point, maybe I'll see if I can get one of my
Group up with me. Group up with me.
like
Group up with me. Haha, you guys.
old friends from college that maybe are still making artwork to
Yay, that
come on here with me at some point,
I gotta go.
have a bit of discussion. I think that'd be nice.
No.
Maybe get a ronde or something like that. I can't wait to hear the playback on this one. From this video. To hear you. Let's watch the chords. Sorry, step on something? There's an old staple, is there? Okay, thought I got them all. And that's the one downside, like if you watched the other night about the canvas stretching that we did down here, I mean, the downside of always having to stretch here, since I don't have really space in the studio to do it, is that, you know, every now and then, turn it off! Hold on, I gotta turn off the light again. as I recall, that washed out this one, right? Um, but I wonder if I added telephone poles, but don't do the. That might work, but I don't do the lines. What do you think? Or is that kind of like doing like a cat, not doing the whiskers? Because I almost did that the other day. I did the portrait of Chiron. Actually, I almost did it on the study we did of the Goya piece, too. I don't think actually my final picture that I posted on my Facebook page that I actually had the whiskers in there. Now I'm still at some point we'll take a good photo with my actual like nice DSLR camera and frame it up and adjust a little in Photoshop, like all that fun stuff to make sure it looks good for printing on prints, and I do sell prints of my work. As I said, it's on the one of the things I posted in the chat, in the stream chat. It's from Society 6. They do really good stuff. If you aren't familiar with, I mean, they're print on demand, so it is a little more expensive than say like if I were to be able to buy like 100 copies of one of my paintings on poster or whatever. Like, God, if I could, I'd do it that way. But the upfront money is. I had tried stuff like that before, and I sat on a lot of stuff for a while. Let's put it that way. And it eventually got damaged in a flood in my basement. So it's like I would like to avoid that for a while. But they do sales all the time, and the sales bring it down to usually pretty cheap, like and reasonably priced especially for the quality. It really is really nice quality stuff. I have a couple of the travel mugs myself. Just because I wanted to see what they looked like before I started trying to, sell them off to people. And they're really good mugs too. The only issue I've ever run into, and I think I promoted one once on here, I showed it. The only issue I've ever run into, and it's not really a fault in the design, so much as it's a fault in the user, is it does seem that each mug's lid is pretty specific to it. Most of the time it's not a big deal, but every now and then if you mix the wrong lid with the wrong cup, it might pop off under too much like heat strain or whatever like that. Like I do a cup of tea every day at work. Primarily because the building during wintertime especially was freezing. So I used to get it just to warm up my hands. So I have bad circulation in my hands. And I got into a habit now, so now I have to drink it just every day just because I have to. I got this hot cup Earl Grey. But the thing about it is, every now and then, like I said, I screw up which lid went to which one when I bring it in, with my coffee in the morning, and then when I take it to get the Earl Grey, I get it all nice and hot, and then pop, and the lid just pops right off. And like I said, it only seems to be if I screw up which one goes with which one. But for the most part, they tend to be pretty good. And they literally, like you could take them as long as they're locked in tight. Like I said, like actually lock the flap open. Lock that closed, I should say. You can hang them upside down, just shake it, and nothing will pour out. They really are good fucking mugs. And I'm not just trying to sell mine. I mean, buy somebody else's work on it if you want. I don't care. Just saying, they're good mugs. The pillows are pretty cool too. My kids wanted. I'd done a study off of a Hiroshige piece, and had a little cat looking out the window at Fuji, and the kids wanted. They both said they wanted a pillow with that on it. So I was like, all right, well, you know what? I can try out the pillows and see how the pillows look, and they were pretty good too. They're nicely. They're a little rough. They're definitely meant to be more like decorative pillows, obviously, but the kids still go to sleep with them. Um, I got one for my dad actually. I intended to put it down in his man cave of my Luray Caverns painting because it's a cave. Ha 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 ha. That's kind of we had gotten him a number of things, but we couldn't figure out something else to, kind of make sure we're getting the same amount of stuff for mom and dad, So that's what we ended up, my wife and I decided to do. Getting a headache. Forgive me. It was a bad day at work, and the headache's starting to get to me. Drink some more water. No, I'm not properly hydrated. This is where it gets a little complicated, and again, I don't know how much this will play into the final painting when we do this. Likely it's going to be from another angle. I don't know if some of these things will even be there at the time that I take the photos. Because I don't know if some of this stuff is related to my friend Jeff, who is commissioning me for this. He used to run a fancy porta potty kind of business. It's really I thought it was a really brilliant idea. I don't know where he got it from, but he just sold it off actually. He's entering into the to be safe under the current administration's setup. I'm going to just say he's entering into an alternative medicine business now. No, that's not gonna help my headache. I might. So I hope if I turn it down a little bit, my head's it is starting to pound. So I'm gonna probably have to stop at some point and just grab another thing of water, maybe a little aspirin too. That's not gonna help me. I need to get back into here. That's the tab I wanted. And then out of reverse and then rises, waiting with turn in my dance tread, all of the sunsets will ride. She can remember a time that I stood by the side of the road, smelled like God, man. Other funny things. He was talking to me when we were talking about this commission. He goes, if you can you turn the barn back to the red color it's supposed to be? It's supposed to be bright red. I'm like, no, not at all. I was like, don't worry, it'll look pretty when I'm done with it. But he doesn't understand how much love I have for old patina like this, man. It's nothing better than there's a building out near Westchester, and I wanted to get there in early spring. So now I think I gotta wait till like early to mid fall because I wanted it to be blooming, but and now it's not blooming, but it could go the other way where it could be a little bright colors and stuff. But it's an area out in Westchester, and I don't know whose property it's on, and I'm gonna do my damnedest not to trespass. It's pretty visible right from the road, but it's like this old broken down fucking barn, or something. It's an old building, and there's no roof on it anymore. There's just shit crumbling off of it a little bit. Like I said, it's not. I should say it's right next to the road. It's not right next to the road, but it's close enough that I had a painting that was in the Westchester Gallery of the Chester County Arts Association um, that I had to pick up in early January. The problem was that I had come down with that what flu was it this year that they were calling it? I forget which one it was, but whatever it was, it kicked the fuck out of me. Like it beat the shit out of me, bad. And so I had to get it, but there was no way I should have ever, been driving. So my dad actually gave me a ride out there. So my wife couldn't do it because she had the flu too. Um, so my dad and I drove out there. Now I had a freaking like mask on my face, like a rag over my face the whole time to make sure I didn't like get him infected. Um, you know, but as we were driving out, I just drove past this building. I was like, oh my god, it's beautiful. I love that stuff, man. Get on, girl, and take off your shoes. I wanna do to you what it is I got to do. If you've been sad and you say that would do, then you wouldn't mind if I be possessive. Now would you? Preach about loving, you know it is to blame. That's why I can ask you and not even feel ashamed. Do I have to put my handcuffs on your mama? Are you susceptible to flattery and games, louder than games? Do I have to put my handcuffs? And I was saying about Jeff's business though, like it was trailers and stuff like that he would have to drop off, like So I don't know. I mean, that looks like a camper, so I'm assuming it's a camper, not a trailer for his bathroom business or whatever that he had. But maybe it is. I don't know. Would be uncool. And scatterbrain, so I'll get distracted and stuff like that. You're that man the moon. I don't care about looking like a chauvinistic kind of whatever. Some kind of can go to hell. If I need some help, I'm gonna pull out my chastity belt. What is I got to do? See, now I wasn't even paying attention to this. See, like, if you guys are paying close attention here, there should be like almost a hard line right there, because this is still wood paneling over on that side, but then it's more like the cement going on over there. I can't quite tell. It looks like it might be almost like a little type of fence, but I don't know exactly what this little groups of marks are right here. I mean, I can see the shape of them, obviously, but I don't know if, with 100% certainty, what's happening right there. I don't think it's quite that wide. Do I have to put my handcuffs on your mama? Oh, are you susceptible to flattery and game, loud in a game? My wife was telling me today. My son, they go to the pool pretty regularly here, like the community pool, and apparently he said to her, "Mommy, we need to relax with the pool a bit." My wife says, "Excuse me, Mister, I will spend 12 hours a day downstairs in the basement playing video games? You think we need to relax on the pool? We go to the pool to get you literally out of the house because you've spent too much time on the videos." Yeah. Chits. It's a chance to dance our way out of my prescription. Won't do it, my down the valley ways with groove like Moses died. So, excuse me. The funky shun under a groove. You want a good foot. Oh, the funk of it. Nation under the move. They can stop us now. Now, I just made this confession to my wife. I will do it here as well. I play Marvel's Contest of Champions quite often during the day, especially because it helps me control my temperament at work. You know, a little bit. Sometimes it doesn't, but helps handle some of the aggression. You know, I beat the shit out of Marvel characters. And I told her, I said, it's recently come into a thing since. By the way, spoilers for season 2 of Luke Cage. Turn it off right fucking now. If you haven't watched it yet, and you have any interest in the show, turn it off right fucking now. 3, 2, 1. Alright. So if you've watched Luke Cage and you see the scene where Bushmaster, like, cracks him in the skull, knocks him loose for a little bit, you know? Every time I beat up Luke Cage now in the game, I literally, like, think in my head. I do it you know, to myself. I don't say it out loud, thank God. Not yet. I'm not that crazy yet. But I think in my head, them's call me Bushmaster. She starts laughing at me. She's like, you're a dork. I'm like, well, you know, I never really hid that from you, dear. When actually, it's just an anniversary of a major dork moment for us. Just came by. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Was the uh, 18th anniversary of the X-Men premiere, the original X-Men movie. Or if you want to go based on like the new timeline where you know what Wolverine looked like in Days of Future Past when he was in the past versus what he looked like in the original X-Men movie, it's it could be called damn, Wolverine lost a lot of muscle mass. Hugh Jackman's small in that movie. It's funny, like build wise compared to what he looks like later on. I digress. Now when that movie came out, my friends and I, we were all big comic nerds. We had been reading in Wizard magazine about who should have been cast as in the X-Men movies, going all the way back to 8th grade for God's sakes. So this was big fucking deal to us. It's the fucking X-Men movie finally. I'm talking, we were remembering back when they were talking about hiring Danzig to be Wolverine because he's the right height and had the big lamb chops. And, Patrick Stewart was always Professor X. Like, I don't think there was ever one that ever said anybody but Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I don't remember a single one. Who else do I remember? David Bowie's wife, Amon, as Storm, which probably would have been pretty good. She wasn't a terrible actress, as I recall. But eventually he became too old for it. Yeah. If anybody remembers these old Wizard magazine, like where they would have the dream casting of it, I mean, you should remember some of these names. But as they were coming out. Anyway, so we were all excited about it. And at the time, I was actually working for just the 1 week at a tuxedo shop I had worked at in high school. The owner had asked me to come in for a week because they're usually closed. But she says I never like leaving the tuxes out for 2 weeks because people just forget to return them, and then I lose them, and all I get back is the security deposit. So I said okay. She said, can you come in and work? I'll pay, And she says, and just basically sit in the store and be here for people who need pickups. If you can get somebody who needs measurements and measure them, get them going. Um, Whatever. She goes, don't really take any big orders. If someone was coming with a wedding party, like tell them please come back. I was like, all right, that's fine, that's fine. Um, that's a little disappointing because I always did like actually dealing with like believe it or not, I actually did like dealing with the bride and groom like to help them pick out like tuxes, like or I should say like the yeah, I'll say the tuxes and like the vests and all that stuff. I like the aesthetics of it. Um, I always felt I was pretty good at that. But anyway, um, measuring I was a little off sometimes, but the I got better eventually. So that's all we did, and I had some friends that I asked them to come by to sit with me. I said basically because if I gotta take a dump and someone comes in, this was an old style cash register. You just hit no cash and the thing pop open. You know what I mean? Like it's not like anything where I could have locked it and done something good with it. And I didn't want anybody like wandering in thinking we were closed and the door was just open or whatever when I took a dump, and I didn't want to lock it because the point of me was to have somebody there. So I was like, I had some friends that were you know not gainfully employed at the time, so they just would come hang out and just I said if anybody comes in and I'm in the shitter, just yell, he'll be right out. And I'll know somebody's there, and then you know I'll try to hurry up. Yeah, I thought I was being smart. I didn't like anybody being there. Apparently, I heard some bad stuff regarding that. She was not happy. I said that's all they were there for. But we got it into our heads, and the idea spurred from me a little bit because I was just sort of like spit shot it out there, and then as everybody went, but we thought, hey, what if we all wore tuxes to the X-Men premiere? Ah, and I was like, no, seriously, what if we did? Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, like, well, it's like, well, we can't just wear tuxes. As we started to talk more and more serious about it, it's like we can't just wear tuxes to it. I said that would cost Dolly money. I was like, she's gonna have to get it all dry cleaned and all that stuff. I was like, that's not cool. We got to make sure we get it like, if we're doing this, we have to do it for a reason. So we said, all right, look, if we're gonna do this, let's everybody take business cards. Everybody gets business cards. I said, every single person that says, hey, nice tux, you give them a fucking business card. Um, you know. And so now right before this week happens, right? Like I met my wife. So now I've got this new girlfriend who I have to go, hey, listen, so Friday, I don't know if you'd be interested. We all decided we were going to go see the X-Men movie, and we're going to get all dressed up in tuxes. The guys are going to get tuxes, and any of the girls going are going to get nice dresses, and we're going to go to see the X-Men premiere. Um, would you want to do something stupid like that? I mean, I know it's stupid, but we're doing it. And she's like, okay, she went along with us. So if she says shit about me being a nerd, I always have that to throw over her on her, because she chose to be a nerd with me, and I know there's no way because I explained to her about how we've all been watching these things and as nerdy a magazine as it gets with Wizard magazine, and we had waiting for this, and then now it's here, and blah 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 blah. And, yeah, so I did not hide my nerdness from her, and she nerded out with us. So if she ever tries to play shit like that, if you guys ever meet her, she tries to say, "Oh, I'm not nerdy." She's a nerd. She's almost as bad as me. It's like Obi-Wan says to Han about who's the bigger fool or the one who follows the fool. It's kind of the same thing. Who's the bigger nerd? I admittedly he's probably the nerd, but anyway. You fucking disappoint me. Maybe I'm better off this guy. Go ahead and play dead. I know that you can hear me. Go ahead and play dead. Why can't you try and face me? 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 You fucking disappoint me. Passive aggressive bullshit. Passive aggressive bullshit. Maggot brain. That's a good one to listen to when you got a headache, actually. Type of good thing. As I said, I saw them, George Clinton play. I won't lie, man. I really, really, really wish I was on some sort of other substance when I heard this song. I bet you it was fucking amazing if someone's stoned. It was amazing to watch regular, but I bet you it was just like mind blowing when, you know what I mean? Like, just like. I can always sort of put myself in that mindset to a degree, you know, like, oh, I bet you this is great if you're stoned. I'm not a big, you know, I really have, in my life, barely experimented with it. I mean, but there are certain songs and certain performances where you go, man, if you were high, this is fucking amazing. Paul McCartney played Citizens Bank a few years ago, and he played Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. I bet you it's like the graphics and shit were all sorts of crazy stuff, and I was just like, ah, oh. Couldn't believe he was playing it. It's not one of his. Yeah, that's a John song. I haven't been checking. Nobody's talking. Okay, whatever. I. Oh, and Cineson was on earlier. I didn't see that. Still here? So there's something. There's one viewer in it, but it lists like 10. I have no idea who's here. Nah, it doesn't look like Cineson's still here. The There it is. Probably half the time I'm off this thing. Whatever. The I forget what I was gonna say now. Something about Paul McCartney, right? The John Lennon song, whatever. As much as I said that was probably a great song to listen to stoned, I will say I am very, 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 very glad I was working and thus could not do anything like that when I heard Blackbird. That's just an amazing song. And this may say blasphemous, you know, I'll go back to Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite for a second. Honestly, one of my favorite performances of it has to be Eddie Izzard in Across the Universe. The movie's a bit odd if you're not familiar with it, but it is a good movie. It's got some good shit going on in there. And there's little ways they throw nods into songs that they like, you know, didn't really do, but they still kind of okay, you know, hey, here's a little ha ha ha, like the character Prudence, you know. Somebody asks about where she came. If she came in through the bathroom window. Ha ha ha. Like I can hear like the Peter Griffin laugh, like you know, ah, being done and like by the writers of it as they're doing it, you know. It's a damn good song. I gave my buddy Bill to play this. If you guys remember, Bill appeared on one stream I think a while back, right? I think it was by the time I started doing Twitch. He's a great guitar player. Get him to learn Maggot Brain. I mean, it's not going to be, I think, incredibly difficult for him. He's so good that it's not like it's going to cause him too much challenge. But I'd love to see his interpretation of it. And again, if we kind of go back to stuff I was talking about, like 2 freaking streams ago, regarding the again drawing and little elements of drawing and it's about form and all that shit. That's one nice thing about this silo here. I mean, you look at that, like, you know, all those little striations, man. They give you the form. It's like, here, you want some form? Take it. That's really cool. Kind of makes it very, very, very easy. You can figure out almost exactly where your horizon line is. Though I would recommend, because it looks like it's pretty much straight on and like the top of where they're really close together. I'd almost let that bend a little just to give yourself. It'll look rounder if it's not with any straight lines. Yeah. So we know already going into this one, we're going to be fudging a little space and time with this. So it's kind of okay to just let that one slide a little. In fact, that's a little close, I think. I think I need to pull that one up a little. Just a bit. You know, like if it was perfectly straight across, it's a hard angle now, you know, and that's just a little weird visually to try to keep it. And I know it's accurate, but sometimes accurate takes away from the aesthetic end of it, you know, and the ease of interpretation of it. That's probably a little bit too harsh of a bend on the upper part because now it looks like it's like there's a hole there or something. Get in the hole. It's your home. Too good for your home? And look, this is very likely, because I'm like, what, 9:36 already. And there's so much little detail that this drawing isn't getting finished. I mean, I'll probably try to go to 10:30, but there's a little break I got to take at 10 to go up and give the kids kisses. By the time I come back down and get everything up and running again, yeah, there's only going to be a few minutes left after that. So, but that's not the point of this drawing. This drawing is technically that. That's really all that was intended. It's just to give us an idea of that barn, because either we're going to get it from an angle close to this one, maybe a little more extreme so we can get farther back quicker, or we're going to be coming from way over here looking this way and you go, why the hell did you waste your time drawing this? And if you didn't hear my decision talking about this last night, it's because the idea is it gives you that idea of three-dimensionality even more so, you know. So when I need to kind of, if I'm having trouble figuring out something, and I need to kind of try to draw through it, I can. Far easier than I can if I were, you know, to just take a photo from down here and try to figure it out. Again, ideally, and that ideal has not existed in my life for a very long time. I'd be out there with a canvas, and paints and doing it, but right there, because this way, I don't think it's as necessary to have to kind of figure out the three dimensionality of it, because it's just there. Do you know what I mean? Um, it's just it's in its natural form, so it's going to be there. So it's it's not so much about trying to figure out the three dimensionality of it, so much as just trying to figure out how to interpret that onto the canvas. Which is not to say that's a easy task, but I think when it comes to something like this, where again you're drawing off of a photo or you're painting off of a photo, unless you're quite adept at that, you really do want to really, and I consider myself pretty skilled at it because I've been forced to for a while, but I still like to get a means and methods to work out that 3D idea as I'm working on the piece. You know what I mean? Like I said, I have a lot of experience beforehand. My years of trying to break into comics helped because, sometimes I'm making up literal cities and buildings, and even though a lot of times my comics were based in like usually in real life cities. Like I did my comic Menace was based in Philadelphia, and the comic I did for the Preston Steve show was obviously based in Philadelphia as well. And in fact, like with that one, I mean, I kept the I guess I'll refer to them as sets, very tight. Like they were it was kind of neat little test of storytelling. To try to make something that's taking place roughly in one or two scenes. That's it, one or two places, and keep it interesting and keep it consistent. So, like the first issue of the League of Extraordinary Stupid Gentlemen, let's see, you'll see the inside of Preston's mansion, supposedly. Now, Preston doesn't actually have a mansion, but there's been a long-running joke that he's super rich and has a mansion with like a moat and all this other stuff. So, since Preston was our kind of Batman-like character, it's the Elliot Manor, and so you see kind of the inside of that, and then Preston gets a ring on a message on his Kabbalah ring, which is a long, stupid joke that literally the show forgot about by the time I introduced it. Like, well, why do we have little Jewish symbols on our rings? And I was like, oh, it's the Kabbalah ring from Oprah and Madonna talked on it like 3 years ago, and you guys don't remember it. And I look like an idiot. I was like, but they let you guys transform and stuff. And I was like, that's my plan. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember that joke. I was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. It made me laugh, so I wrote it down. But so that's the first scene really, and when you see who he's talking to, it's Steve, who played the character Hitman, standing on top of a building, talking into the ring, and the scab signal was lit over City Hall. So that's you got a nice City Hall, and damn, I worked hard on that City Hall. I will say that, man. That I am out of most of my work that I did in the comic book like field, attempting to do it. That's probably my favorite drawing I've ever done. Because I busted my ass on that one. And I was doing this, like, every chance I could draw, I was drawing. So I would be at work, like, on my lunch break. At the time I was working at Quest Diagnostics and at Sears. So in between the two jobs, I'd have a light table, and I had like a converter that would let me use a regular outlet, into the car outlet, and I'm drawing in the light box there, and I had to mechanically draw like City Hall perfectly as best I could. I had like so many photo references of it and stuff, and um, so I was busting my ass on that drawing, man. And it's funny because I'm in the lunchroom, at Quest, and people are, oh, what you do? Oh, look, that's very nice. It's City Hall, all the time. It's like I'm really trying hard to concentrate. Like, really, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, dude, I am really trying to focus here. But I was really proud of that one. Anyway, so they all go to City Hall, and it turns out it is their former intern, Joe, who was mad because they sprayed hot sauce in his ass. And that happened. That was something they did. But anyway, they tattooed his taint too. Just all the thing. But so Joe was mad, and he wanted revenge for those. So the whole fight and everything that takes place in the open, area at City Hall. So I was only 10-page comics, so it wasn't like there was that much. But okay, I had to map out City Hall entirely in my head, like literally get everything done that I could, figure out what it would look like from where Clown Dick, which was Joe's name, was standing, how it looks going down there, how it looks from over here, how it looks looking up at Clown Dick from this angle, how it looks from looking, I had to work out all that shit out in my head. So, again, it helps to get there and kind of figure that out. And then the second issue took place entirely, no. There's the first scenes took place at like a secret lab where they were transplanting the brain of the actor James Mason into a chimpanzee. Who, by the way, the chimpanzee also had superpowers. Like it could create like almost like a key energy beam out of its ass. I went for high comedy, as I do all the time. But Preston Steve had a thing where it's a weird sketch, and I can't really explain it clearly, but it talked about monkeys, and the monkey suddenly started doing a James Mason impression, and then the monkey just started talking like James Mason all the time. And so a monkey wouldn't have worked because they're too small, so I had to do a chimpanzee. If anybody's wondering why I had to switch it. But he says, monkey pick ass at one point, and that's, This makes a lot more sense in context if you actually could find the Preston and Steve episodes where those were related to. But then outside of that, the rest of the comic takes place at their studio. So it's right outside the building and, in the studio. And of course, the comic took so long to make that all the photos I had were from their old studio, which is the main broadcast studio. So all the other DJs broadcast out of the main studio, the one that this comic took place in. But they have a studio that was built just for them now in it's One Bala Plaza, right? Yeah. So it's I was like, I went to premiere the book. I was like, guys, you guys realize you screwed me, right? Because you get this new beautiful studio and this comic takes place in the old studio. Like I had that whole thing planned out, and then you guys get this great studio, and now I'm wrong. I'm like, that's fine. Thankfully, at the time they were having a lot of technical issues when they first moved into the new studio, so they kept having to go back to the old studio. So I was like, yay! It's just one of those days. That's all. They happen to be there. You can find it if anybody's interested. You can find. You'd have to go digging, I think. There's some of the original artwork on the under the original art pages. Some of it's sold, and I just took it off of there. There was a link to issue 1, I believe, like a digital version of it. I think that should still be up. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm curious now. So, bear with me. To Society Studios. Oh, there we go. Original art, original pages. So, you know what? I don't think it's going to be here. Yeah, see, I sold that page too, didn't I? Yeah, I did. So I sold the page I was talking about that I really liked. But I think I can find... I won't have the pencils, but I think is it one of the comics? Might be under the comics link. Yeah, maybe one day I should put up issue 2. Put that up somewhere. Yeah, I'll give you guys this. Wow, it's still up. Wow, look at that. Where's my Twitch stuff? Where's my stream? I like this one. Blue curve of the earth. Alright. So this is the League of Extraordinarily Stupid Gentlemen. For anybody interested. I know there's listed as one viewer here, and it's probably like they said the bot viewer thing, but hey, if you're interested, Mr. Bot, or I guess technically this should become visible in the YouTube archives. So if somebody's on the YouTube archives and they get interested in this, as dumb as they are, and you know, like I said, I had some feelings and misgivings afterwards after I've done them. Just because, again, I felt like other people got a lot of stuff out of that, a lot more than what I had done, and I did a lot more work than they had done. I mean, they were my babies for a while. And I was working on issue 1 when Vincent was born, I believe. I was working it when he was born. Like I wasn't in the hospital. I'm not that sick, but yeah, I was like, okay, kid's born. Okay, I gotta work on this. I tried hard to promote those things, man. I really did. And like I said, I still got a little pissed off when like I said, I went to Zenoscope. I was like, hey guys, can you give me, I'd really like to draw comics, dude. Can you give me something, man? Anything, any spare work, back issue, backup or something on an issue. And they're like, well, send us a portfolio. It's like, I sent you a fucking full issue. Like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, we're in also a modern era. You also have like full links to my websites. So like, they literally could just boom right over and it's just silly. It's weird. It's silly and weird. Though admittedly, I don't know. Like maybe it's just because I have a vision in my head based on their covers that I see all the time. Zenoscope seems like a real TNA type of publisher, and they always had like, like booth girls. Like they were always like, dressed in kind of half-dressed Halloween costumes and stuff. I imagine they still do the same thing. I haven't been to a con in years, but so you know what? Maybe I didn't really want to associate with them. It's not really my thing to be like that. The Blues Tech Mountain Stars, you kept a bit of a still. You're sneaking home a bottle when the guards came up the hill. Lose the booze, cried Darcy, before we could reply. He dumped it in the nosebag of his donkey standing by. His donkey had a ganky leg and only one good eye. When he got a lick of the whiskey, he'd swear that he could fly. He rocketed through the roundabout and down by James's bar. Then he bolted through the hedges, a track about and try. Here's to me you want it all. The gargle, the trophy on the wall. Here's to me you want it all. Today the Darcy's drunken donkey won the race at Donegal. Hey! The donkey passed a donkey. He followed in pursuit. For fear they'd spill the whiskey, we begged them not to shoot. We bound through the turnstile. We got there just in time to place our bets before the lot of them reached the starting line. The flag was up, the race was on, the donkey lagged behind. Now, it doesn't look like it's quite a proper curve. I can't quite, like curb, I should say. Saying curve. Ugh. Like 5 again. So I'm trying to, it looks like it might be just like almost like a dugout piece of road, yeah, or something. So I'm just trying to give it a little form. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll know more once I get there. So I'm working off a pretty poor picture that I've given to you guys to work off of as well. So I won't hold it against you guys. Hopefully, it won't hold it against me. If I told you I had a nice body, would you hold it against me? Oh, slow up a 2 ahead. He finished off the whiskey, then toppled over dead. We went and checked the bets and found when everything was done, the Garda came in second, and they took it 5-1. Ticket, shit, paid 25-1. That's right. Living all the winnings, and to celebrate the night, we missed the poor old donkey, but still we had to laugh when Jamesy made the trophy of the donkey's better half. So raise your beer in the air to the famous derriere. Everybody raise a glass to Darcy's ass. Darcy's ass! Everybody raise a glass to Darcy's ass. Darcy's ass! Here's to you, to me you want it all. To the garter, the gargle, the trophy on the wall. Here's to me you want it all. The day that Darcy's drunken donkey won the race at Donegal. The day that Darcy's drunken donkey won the race at Donegal. Oh! I so want to go to James's bar and see if there's an actual fucking donkey there. There's an ass of a donkey hanging off the... I'm sure they're exaggerating, but I'd love to see it if there's... Everybody goes, oh, it's morbid, or something like that. Dude, you know what? I'm from Philadelphia. We have the fucking Mutter Museum. Solution flips away again. Right through my fingers back into my heart. When it's out of reach and it's in the dark. Sometimes I think I'm blind, but I may be just paralyzed. The clot thickens every day, and the pieces of the puzzle keep crumbling away, but I know there's a picture for me. Indecision clouds my vision. No one listens, because I'm somewhere in between my love and my agony. You see, I'm somewhere in between. My life is falling to pieces. Somebody put me together. Alright, I'm gonna say it. I gotta say it, because I gotta say it. I've said it for years. I'm gonna start a fight, possibly, with it. Falling to Pieces is a better song than Epic. Significantly better. Epic is only as popular as it is because of the video. Fight me. Dissipate in the end, losing the will to fight. Subjects of yes and no, in an ocean of maybe. The bottom, it looks like a steep incline. From the top, another downhill slope of mine. But I know the equilibrium's there. Indecision clouds my vision. No one listens because I'm somewhere in between my love and my eye. So did anybody see the trailer for the new Titans? DC streaming service? There's only one person here, so like I said, it's probably bot, but I'd be interested to see what anybody thought about it. I feel like it's a bit too harsh of a departure from Titans Go, for sure. I mean, like, as I'm a fan of Titans Go, it's just like, dude, you went the exact opposite way. And maybe you should have tried to find something closer. Because I know there were kids going, oh, Titans! And now it's like, no, you're not going to be able to watch it with the word fuck Batman in it. And Dick killing people, like, immediately. Look, as someone who read, like, the old, like, and I'm talking, like, old Titans comics, when they were relatively new. Look, I think they're not wrong with giving Grayson a bit of a temper. Dick had, certainly for a number of years, he was a character with a temper. It's what led him to split from Batman and then eventually become Nightwing. And it was only really after, I think, becoming Nightwing, really, that he sort of settled down. I don't think they really portray him anymore as, almost a rageaholic that he was, really, I remember I hadn't read comics in a while. I go through those phases where it's like I'm in one now where I haven't really read a comic in a long time. But I started to drift into the idea about maybe going back to it. I actually got to meet like Chuck Dixon at his house. My ex's younger sister's father was a neighbor of his, so they actually introduced me. And I was like, oh, maybe I can draw comics, maybe I can talk to Chuck, and Chuck will get me. So, but I hadn't read anything in a long time, so I drew this like a couple sketches of like Batman arguing with Nightwing, and I had like old Nightwing costume, not like the big 70s collar Nightwing costume, but like I think it was like the one right after that, and yeah, and he's yelling at Batman, and Batman's just sort of standing there, like, very grimacy, looking at, and like, not grimacing, but like, intimidating, looking back at him, kind of thing. And then I was like, okay, and then like I found a comic where it was like, oh no, they're kind of cool with each other now. I was like, oh, I guess I'm really out of this. I had to go get comics and like to try to put together a portfolio and stuff, and it seems nobody argued with me on the Epic versus Fallen to Pieces, so I'm going to declare that a victory. I declare myself Emperor of France. Here comes Johnny Anakin with liquor and drugs and a sex machine. He's gonna do another striptease. Alright, I'm gonna pause that for a second. Alright, I gotta do this. Right. Go say goodnights to the kitties. I don't know how much farther I'm gonna go, to be quite honest with you, because there's details within the background of it. I'm going to come back down. I might do a little bit just of detailing in the road up here and just kind of let it go. And maybe I'll come back to it one day. Maybe I won't. I guess it's going to depend on how the photos come out for when I got to take. But I'll be back in a little bit. Let me go say goodnight to my kids. All right. Make sure. Fuck it. That's what the fucking screen's for. Be right back. There we are. Back in business once again. Can I... Sorry, I'm just thinking to myself that... Yeah, I can control this volume here. Okay. No, that's not what I want to do. No, that's not what I want to do. No, that's not what I want to do. There we go. This way I have the music, but I'm not, like, blowing my ear out. Of course, I've had it in the ear before. But something's all life. I probably should start trying to figure out how to move faster, shouldn't I? I was thinking about trying to figure out, like, when the slowdown really occurred. And I mean, it must be related to the breakdown, because I was thinking about how quick I was putting stuff out. I mean, it wasn't as fast, again, as I used to in college, but, like, in 2012, 13, 14, I was still doing paintings pretty quickly. And I can only assume that, like, you know, when I cracked a little bit, and just the general nature of my job as it exists, it affects the self-confidence a lot. You know, if you were here earlier and saw my little rant about stuff that goes on at work regularly, you know, pretty much as a day goes by that at some point somebody doesn't call me, maybe not in so many words, but calls me a piece of shit. You know, I'm not doing my job. Either sales guy, my boss, you know, customer, whatever. They blame me for what somebody else said or did. So, in the end, I'm human, dude. You know, there's nothing going to stop that from eventually having some sort of effect on me. And so I think that has a lot to do with it. Like, there's a lot of lack of confidence when I make a mark sometimes that I need to work on. Yeah, like I can sit here and, okay, well, these are just grass blades. I can kind of go whatever I want to do and kind of improvise here a little bit. Make a few darker, make a few lighter. Not a big deal. They're going to generally, pass off to each other okay. But when it comes to more specific things, I get very meticulous, certainly by my standards. Other people may not think so, but by my standards, I consider it very meticulous. And I think that has a lot to do with it. It's one of these things that like I said, I keep trying to get out of this Siemens. I've been applying places, and I'm not getting calls back and whatever, which doesn't help the self-confidence either. But I can't be 100% sure of what's permanent and what's not anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't tell, like say, let's imagine like an ideal situation. Now the company doesn't exist anymore, but for a while there, I worked for a company called Connexa. And they were eventually bought out by IBM, I believe. I loved that job. I was customer service still, but they knew what the hell they were doing, and that was a big thing. And they had a lot of like weird little perks. I mean, it was kind of it wasn't a mom and pop shop in any way, shape, or form, but they did do a lot of like kind of things I never even thought of that a company would ever do. Like one of the things was if every Friday, all the people that would fall under the non-sales group, basically, would get the pick out of a hat. He'd pull a card out, and the card would be one of the salesmen or saleswomen for the place. If that person made their goals for the day, usually about $10,000 in sales, or whatever, then you got to go home early whenever they did it. So if you pulled like, there was a guy named Mike Kuzma. I still remember Mike's name, man, because Mike was like the one you wanted. Mike, you're sitting there like, come on, Mike, come on, Mike. Liz was another one. I remember her. She was another one you wanted to grab because she was always good at it. Because you could get those, like, you could go in at 8 in the morning and you could be leaving by 9:30 because they were so good. They were so good. And it was just like, all right, they're sitting there and you're just like, all right, come on, come on, come on. So Fridays were like the best. I mean, like Fridays are, normally a great work day for everybody. Not many usually now, but the like Fridays are the day you're waiting for, man. You just go in and you're like, fucking hey, dude, I hope I get Mike. I hope I get Mike. I hope I get Mike. Yeah. And but besides that, the company itself was cool. It was just I really dug the environment. It was a real small cubicle, but it had like a little shower rod. It gave me like my own little closed space. It was kind of cool, you know. And people were fucking polite enough to literally like, tap on the shower curtain. I mean, that's fucking like neat. Anyway, not that there's anything other. It's just like more about keeping distractions away, you know. Um, because of the nature of the company at the time, like I was a like internet skills testing thing. So like you go apply for a job and they want to test how you do Microsoft Word or whatever. We were one of the people that did that. Um, and so companies would sign contracts or whatever, and they'd use our tests to try them. And if they had a question about some of the tests and they thought something wasn't working properly, that's when they called me, and I'd go into the test, and I'd have to try it out and try to get the same results that they did and figure out what happened. And sometimes there's a little simple misinterpretation, like um, like they'd give somebody, like a 3-minute typing test, and that person would get, say, they do like 40 errors in the first minute, right? Or like, I'll try to make it easy number, just divide quickly, Like, so they screwed up 45 times in the first minute, but then they did perfect the rest of the time. This test would break that down as 15 errors per minute. So does it make sense? So sometimes I get people calling like, hey, this person screwed up like the entire first half of this, but it only, it says that they only got 15 per minute. And I'm like, well, that's because, and I have to go explain it. Bum, 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 bum. That's a good one, actually. Hit right now, because I hit this earlier today and it helped me out. So, and like I said, and if there was an issue, I was pretty good at rooting them out. I could find them. There was a weird little thing with Rutgers. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I had to go every day and do something with that. It's not a really big thing. It was just like sort of a pain in the ass. But that was about the worst part of it. Like the most part, it was a really good job. I really liked it. And then they took a big hit, and I got laid off. But the other thing I was going to say was because of the nature of it, like with those having to find out the test and find out if something was wrong with them, etc. I kind of tried to be proactive with it. So I would take all our tests, like, I would take a different test like every day, and to do that meant sometimes, I'd screw up stuff because they were programs I wasn't familiar with at all. But I got to know some of these programs pretty well. So, and then they also had like online lessons that they did as well. So, cool. Now I'm taking online lessons for some of these things that like I didn't know. I basically taught myself Photoshop in reverse because I'd take the test and then I'd figure out from how to answer the questions properly via the test, and then okay, now I know how to do this thing because that's what was asked. Um, and so I really did like that job. So let's imagine that I could somehow get back to there. Even like I said, the company doesn't exist anymore. That's fine. I was using this as an ideal. Knowing how much I liked that position, and if that position somehow became available again to me, if I were to go back to it, I may find myself back to painting quickly and find myself in a place where I'm not as depressed all the time and not, because prior to working at Siemens, I had done a great deal of work in, I don't want to say getting rid of, because that's not right, but getting my depression under control. Um, I had really worked hard at kind of putting in self-control, not medication stuff, but like self-controlled, uh, like safety holds almost in a sense. That's, kind of a way to put it. I don't know exactly. But based on my philosophic ideas that I'd had and developed through college and stuff. And they worked for the most part. What I would say is that, if you were to go back to kind of talk about at that point, times prior to Siemens, I didn't really have mental illness. I had like every now and then mental, discomfort. Um, you know, um, like, sure there'd be times I'd get really depressed, but like that, not like really, really depressed. That makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Certainly not like I do now when it hits. And like I said, that was all under control until this place. Because again, not a day goes by where at some point someone in some way, shape, or form doesn't call me a piece of shit. So your brain can only take so much of that, especially when it's already trying to work against you, So it's like, your shit doesn't work on me anymore because all these people think you're a piece of shit. And then, like I said, those little safety locks sort of started falling away. So I don't know if I could get back there or if all that shit has been destroyed permanently. I can't test it under current conditions. You know what I mean? There's no, I need a control group, so to speak, which means not being where I am. Don't get me wrong. If I find out that if I were to get into a new position or something that had that same type of satisfaction I used to get from Conexa, again, I use the hypothetical of if my painting started selling or something like that, and to the point that I could live off of it. Again, I find that one to be almost impossible of a reality. But should something like that be possible, or like I said, just even getting a job that I find is a better mental suit for me, my self-confidence in my artwork could go up, and then I could become faster again, possibly. Or I may find myself that this is all now what I have to live with. That the damage was done, and there's no going back. And I have no means of finding this stuff out until I can get out, which is my problem. Frustration kicks up again because I can't seem to find a way to find out if it's just the frustration of this place. If that makes any sense. It sucks. It sucks terribly. I don't want to end with taiko drums. I love taiko drums, but I don't want to end with them tonight. Baby. Yeah. Baby, I shoot the shit right out your ass. The girls. All the pretty girls in the world. And the ugly girls too. 'Cause me pretty anyway, baby. Hey, you give me your number, I'll call you up. You act like a pussy on interrupt. No, I don't have no trouble with you fucking me, but I have a little problem with you not fucking me. Baby, you know I'm gonna take care of you, 'cause you say you got my baby and I know it ain't true. Is it a good thing though it's bad, bitch? For good or worse, makes you a switch, so I walk on over with my crystal. When your piss style's dirty, won't be having that in this house, 'cause bitch, I'll cover your style. Now that you heard my charming voice, coochie won't get moist. You only look good and not be bummy. Girl, you better give me that money. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Said, hey, baby, I got your money. Did anybody see the video? I don't know how old it is. It's somebody edited together a bunch of like old like 80s cartoons with Wu-Tang's what protect your neck, right? Protect your neck? I think that's what it is. I have to see if I find it again. Probably won't be able to find it this quick, but because it's almost time to go. Yeah, protect your neck. I don't know what the video is, but it's really cool. It starts off like Inspector Gadget, and it's just well done. If you get a chance to look it up. Me, none of you know, better look at me funny. No, you know my name now. Give me my money. 30. Yeah, sing Ross. Yeah, sing it right. Got your money. Baby, I got your money. So was this video sort of like a jumping off point for what eventually became Black Dynamite? Come on. Yeah, I could club like this all night. Just put your ass out and let me hold you tight. You're looking at my dot saying, they're so nice. The priceless dime is shining disco lights. Well, you better help me solve my problem. How to get this money and rob them. Lucky dog when I won the lotto. Run on my car, Rollo. You can call me dirty and then lift up your skirt. And you want some of this dirty? God made dirt and dirt bust your ass. Stop annoying me, yeah, play my music loud. Dirty to move the crowd. That had his dick in his mouth. Eddie Murphy taught me that back of the house. Now give me money. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Said, hey, baby, I got your money. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Said, hey, baby, I got your money. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Said, hey, baby, I got your money. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. Said, hey, baby, I got your money. Alright, it's 10:30. Like I said, there's not too much more I want to really do on this. I really always wanted to focus on that barn. Damn it. Alright, I'll stick for Blackbird. I just talked about it earlier tonight. Dead of night, take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Like birds singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird. You know what? It's probably gonna be easier. I think I got an HB pencil, like a regular pencil. Yeah, it's gonna be a little easier with something with a point, or I should say, with like a little more of a edge to the point. You know what I mean? As opposed to like a mechanical pencil, it's only just that like whatever tips there. Yeah, get a little bit extra out here. Into the light of the dark black night. God, such a beautiful song. But singing in the dead of night. Now, if Amazon Music's gonna be really cruel to me, they'll put Richter's Mercy on just to keep me here longer, because I won't turn that one off. I can't anymore. To arise, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Alright. Okay. I could. It's a shit song. Good. Cool. Turn that off. Alright. Gonna cut the broadcast, like I said. Yeah. I've already gone a little too long. I'm just gonna try to get at least to like a similar area. Maybe. So hopefully I can stop boring you guys with my drawing. Outside of what I have to do for the approaching painting, we can get back to doing color, and I can bore you with that. That'll be nice. Ah, there you go. Hey, Mike, what's going on, dude? Are you just logging in? Because I'm literally about to go off. I haven't been paying attention to this, so. But it's prep work for the next commission. It's Jeff Sider's barn. And it's funny, I'm going out to West Grove again. I was in West Grove. I'm going to take better shots of it though, because he's I think the way he wants it. His house is like back here, and I think he wants his house in the foreground, the barn in the background. But the shots he sent me, there's a lot of distance between these, so I'm going to have to kind of get creative. And so the shots he did were not really conducive to that. Like, I may have to take one from to make sure the angles line up, but still be it, so I can get fuzzy. So, all right, I'm gonna call it. That's just what I wanted to get to. I wanted to focus on the barn, really. I will be honest. Like I said, he lives out in West Grove, and I'm kind of excited to go back out there. I haven't been there in years. That's where I did a lot of landscape work before. Not the Tom Mike knows, but anybody else watching. I'm kind of excited to go back out there, and I'll be honest. I think I was near this one. I mean, I know it's a big farm area, but I think I stomped near this barn. I'm pretty sure it's not the one that I painted a few times, but I feel like I passed this barn at least. It looks familiar. So, all right. So hopefully this is, like I said, if anybody's interested in this again, let me know. Just wanted to do something, like I said, I didn't want to start another painting before I'm supposed to start the commission, because I felt like that wasn't going to work well. And I didn't want to start, I didn't want to just leave it hanging without any shows, because I did that last week when I was on vacation. So hopefully everybody got something out of it. Like I said, I can maybe just, look, I cut it away. Like, now it's a painting, it's the whole thing. Yeah, whatever. So that's a good spot to stop. Like I said, I might come back to the drawing some other point. If I do, I'll share it on here or something. So have a good night, guys.